Hi everyone, welcome to PSYC-1105 Community Psychology. My name is Lindsay Rivard and I will be your professor for this course. So the course that we're doing here is online, of course, and condensed. Now the condensed piece is important for everybody really to note. It's great that you can take a full course in 7 weeks, but we are squishing a lot of material into 7 weeks. So that means that you can expect to cover about 2 weeks of material for every 1 week of the course. So what I'd like to do right now is a bit of an introduction to the course, tell you some of the important things that you're going to need to know to be successful in the course, some of the key topics, areas of study that we're going to be looking at. And I'd also like to go through the syllabus and discuss the major projects that will make up your grade for the course. All right, so right now you can see on the screen our course homepage. That's in FOL. So FOL, of course, stands for Fanshawe Online. And so this is where you are going to spend your time for our class. Hopefully you're familiar with it already from your other programs of study. So you can see here in the course homepage where I'm hovering my cursor that there's a little welcome announcement telling you about the course, telling you about the weekly checklists right here. So every Monday at 8 a.m. you will receive a new checklist, and I'll post it over here to the announcements area. And the checklist it's a checklist, right? It goes through all of the important things for that week, the content that you'll be expected to be following for that week, the readings, your assessments, that kind of stuff. So there's that. Let's also take a look at the syllabus. So the syllabus is available by link. Here we go. So I'll just click on that right now, and that will take us to the syllabus. Now, of course, basically what this is it's a more detailed outline of what you can expect to be covered week by week. So here we are. So this is the syllabus right here. And so the course description, let's start with that. I know you've all probably read it, but basically what we do in community psychology is we take a psychological approach to understanding community, what community is, what belonging is, and we know, probably you and I, just from our own life experiences, how important it is for our own health and well-being to feel like we belong somewhere, right? Like, this is what community psychology is really about. This is our bread and butter. So belonging to a family, a neighborhood, perhaps a religious organization, a sports team, etc. Basically what these do for us is they give us a sense of meaning. They allow us to have valuable social relationships, human connection, etc. So what we do in community psych is we basically examine how belonging to a community can impact our psychological, our social, and also our physical well-being. We're interested in our physical health as well. So we're going to look at a number of really interesting topics that are relevant for a variety of different areas of study right now. So we'll look at stress, social support. We're going to look at some more difficult topics like discrimination, oppression, how those impact our well-being. We're going to talk about diversity, empowerment. We're going to spend quite a bit of time talking about prevention and health promotion. Now, prevention is a really important concept in community psychology because if we can prevent someone from experiencing a psychological issue, a problem with their health, for example, why would we not do that, right? Prevention makes so much sense. So we're going to talk about prevention. We're going to talk about the history of self-help, community mental health. We're also going to look a little at research methods. So how we do research in community psychology with community groups. And basically what this is all leading up to rather, is how we can create a more socially responsible and healthy society for everybody. That's what community psychology's ultimate goal is. So we have some learning outcomes here. I'll let you guys look through those on your own. For the course, what you need is, of course, the textbook, and you need FOL. I'll talk a little bit more about the textbook in a bit. It's a custom publication based on a great big textbook. Actually, I'll just go get it, 1 second. So this is what your textbook looks like right here. It is available in the campus bookstore. The authors are Kloos, Hill, Thomas, Wanderson, and Dalton. The title is Community Psychology, Linking Individuals and Communities, and it was published by Nelson Publishers. It's still a little pricey, unfortunately, but the course has been taught for a couple years now, so hopefully you might be able to find a secondhand copy through the campus secondhand bookstore, perhaps online on Kijiji. Do what you can. If you have any concerns about the textbook, though, just let me know. All right, so let's go through our course schedule. As I said, this is a condensed course, so normally I would teach this class over 14 weeks, over the usual 3-month semester, fall or winter, right, from September to December or January to April. Great. For us, though, we are looking at this course in 7 weeks, so half that time. So in our first unit, we are going to look at the first 6 chapters of your textbook, and we kind of hit the ground running. There's no time to waste, especially in a condensed course. So in our first week, we're going to do a bit of an introduction. We'll talk about how community psychology has developed. Next week, we're going to talk about research methods, how we do research in community psychology, why we do research in community psychology. Then we're going to, in week 3, talk about how we understand individuals and community. So we'll get into some more specific stuff in that week. For our second unit and third unit, they're a little shorter, so they're 2 weeks each. In Unit 2, we're going to talk about prevention and promotion and human diversity and stress and coping. Then in our third unit, we're going to talk about empowerment, citizen participation, social change, some really cool topics. Then we're going to end the course with talking about something called program evaluation, which is all about how we essentially gauge whether what we're doing is working. Then we're going to talk a little bit about the history and how that history is going to move forward in community psychology. All right, so let's talk about your major projects for the course. So your grade in this course is based on 4 major projects. Number 1, tests. So you've got 3 online tests that you will write through the quizzes function of FOL. Each of these tests is worth 20% of your final grade. They are multiple choice, they are non-cumulative, and we'll talk a little bit more about those as we get closer to the first test. But just so you know, for your own planning, you've got all of the dates and the chapters and the weeks that these tests are going to take place in. So make sure that you note those in your calendars right up front, because the bulk of your grade does come from these tests. All right. The second part for where your grade comes from is a prevention project. So this is your final project that will be due at the end of the class. It's a visual project, and I'm hoping that students will take the opportunity to get creative with it. Basically, what you're going to do is choose a social issue, and I have some social issues outlined here. You don't need to stick to this list if you don't want to, but these are some ideas of different social issues that you can choose that do affect people's psychological well-being, social, physical well-being, etc. What you need to do for the project is basically give some information about the social issue that you've chosen, talk about how you prevent it, and then talk about how you would go about treating or helping people who are experiencing that issue. So again, that's all I'm going to say about that for right now, because I will give another one of these video tutorials about the prevention project in more detail. So I'll send that out in a bit. Now the prevention project is worth 10% of your final grade, and it's due Friday, June 16th, 2017. All right, number 3. So you're going to do some online discussions for me. Now you'll do one per unit, so they're each worth 5% for a total of 15% of your final grade. And basically what the online discussions allow you to do is talk to each other, right? To do some thinking, some active reflection, some critical thought, and write about a specific topic that I'm going to introduce in a little bit. Next week, actually, is when you'll do your first discussion for me. And then you get to talk to each other, you get to compare notes, you get to share ideas and learn from one another. So that's what the online discussion is for. And I've got, again, the dates, etc. So take a look at that. And then again, there will be another one of these tutorials for the online discussions. And then you're going to do weekly participation exercises for me as well. Now, this is 15% of your grade. These are going to be short reflection thought exercises, and they're marked on a pass-fail basis. So basically, if you do the exercise, if you take it seriously, make sure that it's submitted on time, all of that, you should get that grade, okay, if you're following instructions, etc. For me, this 15% is the easiest grade you will ever get. There really aren't any, right or wrong answers when it comes to these kinds of participation exercises. Essentially, I just want to see that you're thinking critically about the material we're covering in the course, taking it seriously. And yeah, so that's what the participation exercises are. You'll do one a week, and again, we'll talk a little bit more about those in a bit. All right, so that is the quick run through of the syllabus. Again, this is a really exciting course. I love this class. Community psychology is what my master's degree is in from Wilfrid Laurier University. It's a really interesting field of study that allows us to understand the relationship between social issues and our psychological well-being. So how, for example, would a social issue like homelessness or poverty impact somebody's psychological well-being? Are people who experience poverty or homelessness more likely to be depressed? Are they more likely to experience anxiety, negative thoughts, etc.? And the answer is yes, for both of those, obviously. Being poor or being homeless are two very stressful experiences. So what we want to do is understand how these kinds of experiences impact people, how we can help people who are experiencing these kinds of issues, and of course, how we can prevent these kinds of issues from impacting people. So that's where I'll end things for now, and I'm going to post another one of these tutorials in a bit, going over some more information. Thanks, guys.